Welcome to Alma Tales Lovers, where disrespect gets exposed and humiliation doesn't get the last word. These are the stories of wives and girlfriends who try to shame their husbands and boyfriends in public, weaponize family and friends, and treat love like a power game, until the calm comeback rewrites everything. If you've ever been embarrassed, talked down to, or made to feel less than by the person who should protect you, this channel is for you. Subscribe and turn on notifications for raw, realistic humiliation stories with quiet receipts, cold consequences, and hard lessons. Because respect isn't optional. Let's get into it. The first time I saw the account, I thought it was a glitch. A tiny line inside our banking dashboard that didn't belong, an account number I didn't recognize labeled Civi IND. My wife, Kendra, handled most of our finances because she liked organizing. I trusted her, because trusting your spouse is supposed to be normal. But that label didn't look normal. It looked intentional, like something carefully tucked behind the furniture. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I just clicked into the details, and my chest went cold when I saw the name under ownership. Kendra J. Hale Primary. Not joint. Not family. Just her. We've been married 7 years. We had a house in Raleigh, a dog that shed like it was paid to, and the kind of life that looks stable in photos. But the past 6 months felt like living next to a locked room. Kendra was suddenly protective of her phone. She started taking work calls in the garage. She had new team dinners that ran late and always came with a story that had too many details, like she was rehearsing. I kept telling myself it was stress. Then I found a savings account with my wife's name on it. An account funded with money that wasn't supposed to exist. The transactions were small at first. $50 here, $100 there. The kind of amounts you might not notice unless you're looking. But it stacked up. Every week, consistently like rent paid to a secret. And then I saw the transfers. Household, auto, and checking. Roundup. Money leaving our joint account and landing in her private savings. The total balance made my throat tight. $18,640. That wasn't oops money. That was a plan. That was a bag packed in digital form. I clicked through the statements and realized something else. Deposits spiked right after I got my bonus at work. I sat at my desk, the glow of my laptop turning everything in the room blue and unreal. I could have woken her up, could have demanded answers, could have blown up the night. But I'd seen enough stories, friends, family, co-workers to know the first person to get emotional loses control of the narrative. So I did the opposite of what anger wanted. I got calm. I took screenshots. I downloaded PDFs. I saved copies to a drive she didn't know existed. Then I did something that felt almost ridiculous. I opened my office printer settings at home and tested a page. The printer whirred softly, like it was about to help me tell the truth. The next morning, Kendra moved around the kitchen humming, pouring coffee like nothing in our life was cracked. She kissed my cheek. "Morning, babe." I looked at her and realized how good she was at being normal when she wanted to be. That's what made her dangerous. Not because she was evil, because she was convincing. "Morning," I said. No accusation. No tension. I watched her scroll her phone with her thumb angled away from me. Then she said, casually, "I'm meeting Jenna for lunch today." The name landed oddly. Jenna was her co-worker I'd never met. I nodded again. "Okay." Kendra paused like she expected me to ask questions. I didn't. That afternoon, I called my friend Marcus, a CPA who knows how money tells the truth when people don't. Hypothetically, I said, if someone has a private savings account and transfers money from a joint account into it, what's that mean? Marcus didn't laugh. "It means one of two things," he said. "They're preparing for an exit, or they're hiding spending." My stomach clenched. Marcus continued, "Either way, you document everything, and you don't confront without a plan." I stared at the printed statements on my desk. "Yeah," I said quietly. "I'm past the without a plan stage." Marcus exhaled. "Then you're ahead of most people." The cheating part didn't come from nowhere. It never does. There were signs before the bank account. The way she turned her phone face down when she sat next to me. The way she started wearing perfume just to go to the grocery store. The way she called me clingy when all I did was ask what time she'd be home. Once, I found a receipt in her car for a hotel restaurant. 2 entrees, 2 drinks, a dessert. On a night, she told me she'd eaten salad at home with Jenna. When I asked about it, she didn't deny it. She laughed. It was for a client, she said. Stop being insecure. I swallowed my doubt and called it love. But the secret savings account was different. That wasn't flirting or work stress. That was strategy. That was money leaving our shared future and being stored under her name only. I could have confronted her privately. But private confrontations are where manipulators thrive. They cry, they twist, they promise, they rewrite. I needed daylight, witnesses, accountability. Kendra cared about appearances like oxygen. So I decided the truth wouldn't happen in our bedroom at midnight. It would happen in a place where she couldn't play director. And then I remembered. Her parents were coming over Saturday for her dad's birthday dinner. A family meeting, basically disguised as celebration. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. I cooked. I cleaned. I acted normal. Kendra kept being sweet in a way that felt transactional, touching my arm, calling me baby, offering to pick up my favorite dessert. I watched her kindness the way you watch someone wrap a gift you suspect is empty. Friday night, she came home late again. I'm exhausted, she said, and went straight to shower. Her phone buzzed on the counter. I didn't pick it up. I didn't need to. I'd already learned the truth I needed. Money doesn't flirt by accident. Money doesn't misunderstand. Money moves exactly where it's told. Saturday morning, I printed everything. Not just one statement, the whole timeline. Every transfer, every deposit, every spike after my bonus. The rising balance like a staircase to another life. I clipped the papers into a neat stack, put them in a plain folder, and slid it into a drawer beside the kitchen table. My hands didn't shake. My heart did. I wasn't excited. I wasn't eager. I was resolved. The goal wasn't to hurt Kendra. The goal was to stop being played. When someone is cheating and hiding money, you're not in a marriage anymore. You're in a negotiation, and you didn't even know the meeting started. Her parents arrived first. Linda hugged Kendra and told her she looked glowing. Her dad, Tom, shook my hand and made a joke about the grill. Kendra's younger brother, Evan, showed up with a gift bag and that loud energy people bring when they don't know a storm is coming. Everyone laughed in the living room while music played low. Kendra played hostess like she was born for it, offering drinks, smiling wide, telling stories that made her sound busy and important. I watched her perform and thought, she's been performing for me too. I set the dinner table slowly, counting plates like I was counting seconds to a verdict. Halfway through dinner, Kendra's phone buzzed on the table. She snatched it fast, but not fast enough. I saw the screen light up with a name, Drew. Not Jenna. Drew. A man's name. Kendra stood quickly. Excuse me, she said with a laugh. Work emergency. She walked toward the hallway. Linda frowned. On your dad's birthday? She said. Kendra waved her hand. Just 1 second. Tom sighed. Evan rolled his eyes. The moment she left, silence didn't happen. People kept eating, but the mood shifted. I let it, because the meeting wasn't about a text. It was about a pattern. When Kendra came back, she was smiling too hard, cheeks a little flushed. All good, she announced. Crisis averted. She raised her glass. To Dad. Everyone clinked glasses. I raised mine too. Then I set it down gently and said, Actually, before we do cake, I think we should talk. My voice wasn't angry. That scared Kendra more than anger ever could. Her smile froze. Talk about what? She asked lightly. Tom looked between us. Linda tilted her head. Evan paused mid-bite. I stood and walked to the kitchen drawer like I was grabbing candles. I came back with the folder instead. Kendra's eyes followed the folder like it was a snake. What is that? She asked, voice suddenly thin. I placed it on the table and didn't open it yet. Kendra, I said calmly, I noticed something in our finances. She laughed once too loud. You're doing this now? I nodded. Yes. Linda blinked. Doing what? She asked. Tom's brows knit. Kendra's foot started bouncing under the table like her body was trying to escape. I slid the folder toward her. Go ahead, I said softly. Open it. Kendra stared at it like it might bite. Then she looked at her parents and tried to smile. It's probably nothing, she said. Kendra opened it with shaky fingers. The top page was a statement summary with her name alone on the account. She stared. Her face went blank first, then red. Where did you get this? she whispered, like the crime was me seeing it. I kept my tone even. Our bank, I said. The same place the money came from. Tom leaned forward, squinting at the page. Kendra, what is this? He asked. Linda's mouth opened slightly. Evan sat back slowly, as if he suddenly remembered he had somewhere else to be. Kendra flipped pages fast, like speed could undo what paper proved. I watched her hands tremble. You went through my stuff, she snapped. I checked our accounts, I corrected. Because it's our money. Kendra's eyes flashed. That's my savings, she said. Every woman should have her own savings. Linda nodded quickly. Well, that's not wrong, she said, trying to rescue her. I didn't argue that point. I asked the question that mattered. Why was it funded from our joint account without my knowledge? Kendra inhaled sharply. I was just rounding up purchases, she stammered. I pointed gently at the highlighted transfer lines. These aren't roundups, I said. These are transfers, and they increase after my bonus. The room quieted. Tom's face hardened. Evan stared at the papers like they were subtitles in a language he didn't speak. Kendra tried the next tactic, moral attack. So you don't trust me, she said, voice thick with accusation. You're humiliating me in front of my family. I nodded once. I don't trust what I can't explain, I said. And I didn't humiliate you. The statements did. Linda looked pained. Honey, she said to Kendra, just tell us what's going on. Kendra shook her head, tears forming fast, on command like a faucet. I've been stressed, she sobbed. I didn't want to lie as to worry. Tom's jaw tightened. Worry about what? He asked. Kendra's tears fell. Then she looked at me with anger under the sadness. You're making this into something it's not. I slid one more paper forward, an itemized list I'd made from the statements. Then explain these, I said quietly. Hotel restaurant charges, rideshare trips across town, a floor's purchase on a random Tuesday, a jewelry store charge that never came home. Kendra stared, blinking fast. Evan muttered, oh man. Linda's hand flew to her mouth. Tom's face went pale, then dark. Kendra's voice went sharp. Those were work expenses, she insisted. I nodded. Then where are the reimbursements? I asked. And why are they coming from money you moved into your private account? Kendra's lips trembled. She looked around the table like she was searching for a door in the wall. That's when the cheating finally stepped out from behind the money. Not because I screamed, because Kendra couldn't keep the lies straight under witness. She started speaking fast. It's not what you think, she said. It was complicated. Tom slammed his hand on the table, hard enough to rattle silverware. Kendra, he said, low and furious. Are you cheating on your husband? The air changed. Everyone stopped breathing at once. Kendra's eyes filled with panic. She tried to laugh, but it died in her throat. Dad, she began. Tom repeated it, slower. Are you cheating? Kendra's silence answered. Linda made a small sound like she'd been punched in the chest. Kendra turned on me then, like my calm was the betrayal. You wanted this, she snapped. You wanted everyone to hate me. I stayed steady. No, I said. I wanted the truth. Evan whispered, who is it? Kendra looked at her phone on the table, like it might save her. I didn't even need to ask. Drew, I said, watching her flinch. The guy who texted during dinner. Linda's eyes went wide. Drew, she repeated. Who is Drew? Kendra's chin lifted, defiant now. He's someone, she said. Tom looked like he might stand up and flip the table. Someone, he barked. You're married. Kendra wiped her face angrily. I was lonely, she snapped. Elias was always working. That excuse landed and rotted right there. Because I was prepared for that line, too. I pulled out my phone and opened my calendar, work schedule, overtime logs, the nights I stayed late that she had team dinners. I worked to build this life, I said, not to fund your exit and your affair. Kendra laughed bitterly. Exit, she said. You think I was leaving you? I tapped the statement balance. 18,000 in a private account says yes, I replied. Kendra's mouth opened, then closed. Linda cried quietly. Evan stared down at his plate, face tight. Tom looked at Kendra like he didn't recognize his daughter. Kendra's shoulders shook, and for the first time that night, she looked scared, not sad. Scared. Then came the twist. Kendra wasn't saving just to leave. She was saving to leave clean. She had a plan: move money quietly, blame the marriage, exit with a cushion, and make me look like the villain who didn't trust her. She was building a story where she was the brave woman starting over, and I was the controlling husband. That's why she always called me insecure. That's why she needed me quiet. But paper doesn't care about narratives. Paper cares about timestamps. And I had them all. I leaned forward and said softly, "Here's what's going to happen next." Kendra blinked, breathing fast. "You don't get to decide," she hissed. I nodded. "Watch me." I told them, calmly, like I was outlining a business plan. "I'm separating our finances tonight," I said. "My paycheck will go into my account. The mortgage will be handled through a joint bill account with transparency. Kendra can keep her private account, but she will not add another dollar from my income." Kendra snapped, "You can't do that. Marcus had coached me well." "I can," I said. "And I already started." The room went silent again, this time with respect. Tom exhaled through his nose, anger still burning. Linda looked at me like she was seeing me clearly for the first time. Evan muttered, "Dude." Kendra stared, stunned. She was used to me being accommodating. She wasn't ready for firm. Kendra tried bargaining. "We can fix this," she said quickly, reaching across the table. "It was a mistake." Tom barked a laugh. "A mistake is burning toast," he said. "This is a lifestyle." Linda whispered, Kendra, like she was begging her to rewind time. Kendra's eyes filled again. "Elias, please," she pleaded, switching voices, soft, helpless. I didn't insult her. I didn't call her names. I just said the most powerful sentence a liar can hear. "I don't believe you." Kendra froze. Because once belief is gone, manipulation has nowhere to sit. She looked around at her family. No one rushed to save her. The meeting was over. The reality remained. After dinner, Tom pulled me aside near the front porch. His voice shook with anger and shame. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't raise her like this." I nodded. "I'm not asking you to take sides," I said. "I'm just not carrying this alone." Tom swallowed hard. "Do what you have to do," he said. Linda hugged me briefly, crying my shoulder. "I love her," she whispered, "but she's wrong." I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Kendra stood in the doorway watching, eyes narrow. She looked like someone who'd lost control of the story and didn't know what to do with the truth. That night, Kendra cornered me in the kitchen. "You planned this," she said, voice venomous. "You ambushed me." I met her eyes. "No," I said. "You ambushed our marriage. I just brought the receipts." She scoffed. "So what? You're divorcing me." I took a slow breath. "I'm not threatening," I said. "I'm preparing." Kendra's face flickered, fear, then anger. "Drew doesn't mean anything," she lied automatically. I nodded. "Maybe," I said. "But the money meant something. And that's the part you can't explain." She stepped closer. "You'll regret this," she whispered. I didn't flinch. "I regret what I tolerated," I said. Over the next week, Kendra's panic got loud. She texted nonstop. Apologies, blame, memories, guilt. She showed up at my office once with coffee and that old smile like she could reset me. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. I met with Marcus again and tightened the financial boundaries. The funniest thing about manipulation is how predictable it becomes once you see it. When sweetness doesn't work, they try anger. When anger doesn't work, they try sadness. When sadness doesn't work, they try fear. But fear doesn't work on someone who's already accepted the truth. I had accepted it. Then Drew messaged me. Not through Kendra, directly. A random number, arrogant words. "We should talk like men." I stared at it, felt my jaw tighten, then smiled a little. Because that message wasn't about manhood. It was about control. He thought I was a problem to negotiate with. I didn't respond. I screenshotted it and sent it to my attorney. I wasn't going to fight in the mud with someone who benefited from chaos. Kendra called me furious. "Why is he texting you?" she shouted. I kept my voice calm. "Ask him," I said. "He's your boyfriend." She screamed, "He's not." I waited a beat. "Then why is he acting like he is?" Silence. 3 weeks later, the truth finished its work. Kendra confessed, partially, then fully, when she realized her family wasn't blaming me, and I wasn't returning to the old role. She admitted she'd been planning to leave after the holidays. The secret savings was her fresh start fund. Drew was the new chapter. She wanted the comfort of my stability while auditioning someone else for the future. Hearing it out loud should have broken me. Instead, it made me calm. Because the confusion was gone. That was the cruel gift of clarity. I told her, gently, "You're free to start over. Just don't start over with my money." Kendra cried like she just realized consequences aren't negotiable. I moved into a smaller place with big windows and quiet mornings. I rebuilt my life like a man rebuilding his spine, slow, steady, stronger than before. The dog came with me. Kendra told people we grew apart, but the bank statements told the real story, and anyone who mattered knew it. I didn't win by embarrassing her. I won by refusing to be blind. I learned that love without boundaries is just charity for someone else's selfishness. And if you're watching this thinking, "I'm seeing the same signs," don't ignore your instincts. Check the facts. Protect your future. And remember, when someone hides money, they're hiding a plan. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.